Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A written record of a commercial transaction. Something that provides access to get in or get out. Beggars waited just outside the entryway to the cathedral. The act of beginning something new. The act of entering. Something, manuscripts or architectural plans and models or estimates or works of art of all genres, etc. Submitted for the judgment of others, as in a competition. An item inserted in a written record. A written record of a commercial transaction. A written record of a commercial transaction. Put into a trance. Something that provides access to get in or get out. They waited at the entrance to the garden. A movement into or inward. The act of entering. She made a grand entrance. Attract. Cause to be enamored. Something that provides access to get in or get out. Something that provides access to get in or get out. The right to enter. The principal dish of a meal. An entrance, especially a theatrical entrance onto a stage or as if onto a stage. She made a graceful entree into the ballroom. Something that provides access to get in or get out. Beggars waited just outside the entryway to the cathedral. The act of beginning something new. They looked forward to the debut of their new product line. Appear for the first time in public. The new ballet that debuts next month at Covent Garden is already sold out. Make one's debut. This young soprano debuts next month at the Metropolitan Opera. Present for the first time to the public. The band debuts a new song or two each month. The presentation of a debutante in society. The act of beginning something new. Formally making a person known to another or to the public. The act of beginning something new. The act of starting something for the first time, introducing something new. The act of putting one thing into another. A basic or elementary instructional text. A new proposal. They resisted the introduction of impractical alternatives. The first section of a communication. The act of propelling with force. The act of beginning something new. The act of moving a newly built vessel into the water for the first time. The act of beginning something new. Putting on display for the first time. He attended the unveiling of the statue. A movement into or inward. The act of entering. The act of entering. Arriving at a place or position. Incoming class. Entering upon a position of office vacated by another. The incoming president. The act of entering. Astronomy, the disappearance of a celestial body prior to an eclipse. Something, manuscripts or architectural plans and models or estimates or works of art of all genres, etc. Submitted for the judgment of others, as in a competition. Several of his submissions were rejected by publishers. The feeling of patient, submissive humbleness. The act of submitting, usually surrendering power to another. A legal document summarizing an agreement between parties in a dispute to abide by the decision of an arbiter. An agreement between parties in a dispute to abide by the decision of an arbiter. Law. A contention presented by a lawyer to a judge or jury as part of the case he is arguing. The condition of having submitted to control by someone or something else. The union was brought into submission. A bookkeeper's chronological list of related debits and credits of a business forms part of a ledger of accounts. A bookkeeper's chronological list of related debits and credits of a business forms part of a ledger of accounts. A statement of recent transactions and the resulting balance. They send me an accounting every month. The occupation of maintaining and auditing records and preparing financial reports for a business. A bookkeeper's chronological list of related debits and credits of a business forms part of a ledger of accounts. A convincing explanation that reveals basic causes. He was unable to give a clear accounting for his actions. A system that provides quantitative information about finances. Reach or gain access to. How does one access the attic in this house? A way of entering or leaving. He took a wrong turn on the access to the bridge. A code, a series of characters or digits, that must be entered in some way, typed or dialed or spoken, to get the use of something, a telephone line or a computer or a local area network, etc. Computer science, the operation of reading or writing stored information. The right to enter. Obtain or retrieve from a storage device, as of information on a computer. The act of approaching or entering. He gained access to the building. The right to obtain or make use of or take advantage of something, as services or membership. The act of drawing spatially closer to something. The hunter's approach scattered the geese. Ideas or actions intended to deal with a problem or situation. His approach to every problem is to draw up a list of pros and cons. Move towards. We were approaching our destination. The event of one object coming closer to another. A relatively short golf shot intended to put the ball onto the putting green. He lost the hole when his approach rolled over the green. A tentative suggestion designed to elicit the reactions of others. A way of entering or leaving. Come near in time. Winter is approaching. Begin to deal with. Approach a task. The temporal property of becoming nearer in time. The approach of winter. Come near or verge on, resemble, come nearer in quality, or character. His playing approaches that of Horowitz. The final path followed by an aircraft as it is landing. A close approximation. The nearest approach to genius. Make advances to someone, usually with a proposal or suggestion. I was approached by the president to serve as his advisor in foreign matters. Get off the ground. Who started this company? Bulge outward. The time at which something is supposed to begin. They got an early start. Begin work or acting in a certain capacity, office or job. Start a new job. Get going or set in motion. We simply could not start the engine. A line indicating the location of the start of a race or a game. Have a beginning, in a temporal, spatial, or evaluative sense. Prices for these homes start at $250,000. A signal to begin, as in a race. The starting signal was a green light. Bring into being. A turn to be a starter, in a game at the beginning. He got his start because one of the regular pitchers was in the hospital. Set in motion, cause to start. The U.S. started a war in the Middle East. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Who will start? Begin an event that is implied and limited by the nature or inherent function of the direct object. She started the soup while it was still hot. A sudden involuntary movement. He awoke with a start. Begin or set in motion. I start at 8 in the morning. Have a beginning characterized in some specified way. Leave. Move or jump suddenly, as if in surprise or alarm. She startled when I walked into the room. The advantage gained by beginning early, as in a race. With an hour's start he will be hard to catch. The act of starting something. Play in the starting lineup. The beginning of anything. It was off to a good start. Serving to begin. The beginning canto of the poem. The time at which something is supposed to begin. The place where something begins, where it springs into being. The Italian beginning of the Renaissance. The act of starting something. He was responsible for the beginning of negotiations. The event consisting of the start of something. The beginning of the war. The first part or section of something. It was a dark and stormy night, is a hackneyed beginning for a story. The time at which something is supposed to begin. An academic exercise in which diplomas are conferred. The act of starting something. Accomplishment of an objective. Someone who arrives, or has arrived. The act of arriving at a certain place. They awaited her arrival. The property of holding together and retaining its shape. Considerable capital, wealth or income. The idea that is intended. What a communication that is about something is about. The choicest or most essential or most vital part of some idea or experience. A particular kind or species of matter with uniform properties. Shigella is one of the most toxic substances known to man. Material of a particular kind or constitution. The immune response recognizes invading substances. The real physical matter of which a person or thing consists. DNA is the substance of our genes. The state of being contented with your situation in life. He relaxed in sleepy contentedness. The amount that can be contained. What a communication that is about something is about. Satisfied or showing satisfaction with things as they are. A contented smile. The sum or range of what has been perceived, discovered, or learned. Something, a person or object or scene, selected by an artist or photographer for graphic representation. Usually plural. Everything that is included in a collection and that is held or included in something. He emptied the contents of his pockets. Make content. I am contented. Satisfy in a limited way. He contented himself with 1 glass of beer per day. The proportion of a substance that is contained in a mixture or alloy, etc. What a communication that is about something is about. A communication, usually brief, that is written or spoken or signaled. He sent a 3-word message. Send a message. Send a message to. She messaged the committee. Send as a message. She messaged the final report by fax. What a communication that is about something is about. A written document preserving knowledge of facts or events. A written document preserving knowledge of facts or events.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.